The RPG College is here again. This is my channel, the Gamer Seuss channel on Twitch, where we're talking about anything, everything tabletop role playing games. We do an open forum RPG College every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time with me, Doc, your host, 42-year D&D player. I've played almost every role playing game that's come out in that time. I mean, except for some of the much more recent ones, which I haven't had a chance to dive into. But in the 80s, just about everything that came out, we tried it for a little bit. So I've played every kind of role playing game imaginable. But I have been playing Dungeons and Dragons itself since 1978. And during that bit of time, I might have learned one or two things that I'm willing to share with you. I by no means have everything right by myself, so I'm still learning. I think everybody's always still learning. You never quite quit. Uh, if you want to see me in person gaming, once all we're fully out of quarantine, I do spend a lot of time over at Metagames Unlimited here in Springfield. I'm one of the store DMs there, and I run and play games 4 to 5 nights a week there. Well, I say nights, although some of my games are earlier. Like my Saturday game is usually from noon to 4, and then every other Saturday I have another one from 5 to 9. And then I run a game on Mondays as well. That's from 4 to 8. And then I play in a game from 4 to 8 on Wednesdays. And we were playing in a game on Tuesday. I don't know if that one's going to start back up again or not. Um, haven't heard from that DM in a while. His schedule had kind of pulled him away before the quarantine even happened, so we're not sure if he's ready to come back or what's going on with that. Anyway, we're here to talk role-playing games. Specifically, we can talk about Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, but more generally, I'll talk about any role-playing game. I can help out if you're a player, you need help writing backstories, developing a character line, learning some of the rules, just questions and concerns about some of the underlying concepts behind the rules. Come on in, ask us questions, ask me questions. Looks like we've got 2 viewers already. Please feel free to let me know you're here, who you are. I'm also here for DMs who are looking to break behind the screen, learn how to role play and run a role playing game. Whether you're wanting to run Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder or something like Teenagers from Outer Space or Big Eye Small Mouth or Vampire the Masquerade. There's certain universal things and some things that are specific to systems, but I'm here to answer those questions if you have them. Um, as always, my streams are at least partly dedicated to, not sponsored by, because I do not have any kind of sponsors. I'm footing the bill on this myself, but my streams are kind of dedicated to Extra Life, which is a charity through the Children's Miracle Network where nerds, people in the nerd community, come together to earn by doing gaming marathons and things of a similar nature to earn funds for their local Children's Miracle Network fund. But we pick the hospital that we want to support, and all the money goes locally 100%. It doesn't go to some nebulous national fund that then it peters out into nothing. And the Children's Miracle Network helps children with long-term chronic diseases like, cancer, muscular dystrophy, child onset diabetes, things of that nature, cerebral palsy, and anybody who is in need, they do that. Now, also, June is Pride Month, and Extra Life is doing some extra stuff for Pride as well, because we do have several hospitals in the network that they support that also support good healthcare for our LGBTQ communities out there, children and adults who are having trouble with things like gender reassignment surgeries, or other, even counseling to learn how to get along in a world that basically views them as different and wrong when they are not different and wrong in any way. So come support any programs that can help them with that as well. One thing that people do need especially if they are a little different in any way, is understanding. And us nerds, we are the different. We are the ones that were picked on as kids and spent a lot of our times in our basements. So we want to come in and we want to support those people as well. Um, Now, I got a couple people in the room right now. I'm going to switch my views so that you can see my ugly mug. And up in the upper corner, you'll see what's kind of showing in the upper corner is my own Extra Life page, which is currently, and it's showing a rebroadcast of my feed right now. So you kind of get like an infinite loop going on right there. But that's one thing you can do. If you hit exclamation point Extra Life in my chat, my bot will post how to get to here with the exact web address. We're going to switch this over to the D&D Beyond website now, though. Let's see, making sure I've got everything shown up properly. We are going into my logging screen so I can see my chat logs. Still looks like we've got 2 viewers. Now, ask me questions. This, unlike some of my more structured videos, is an open forum show where I'll take questions and concerns from the audience and I'll extrapolate on them. If I don't get any questions or concerns, then I'll go off on some topics that I just have tried to keep a couple in my back pocket just for situations where we don't have anybody prompting me. But I do like the interaction of the channel. That's kind of what this is meant to be, is an interactive question and answer kind of thing where we try to help as many people as possible. For those who don't know, I do a DM roundtable at the Gaming Arts Media Entertainment Expo every year. When the convention opens, I keep the RPG college table going all weekend long, but then I also do a panel in the panel room, which is called the DM Roundtable, where I invite other DMs of the area of different walks of life to come in and share their experiences, because there is no one true authority. Even if I say this is how I do it, that doesn't mean it's the only way that something can be done. And so that's one of the things I do. I also come in and I do panels at conventions. Most recently, we did a virtual con for VisionCon and the first weekend in May, the first, second, and third. And I did 2 panels, one on the first and one on the third. One was how to build engaging NPCs, which are non-player characters. And I can extrapolate on more information about that if you'd like to know. The other panel was the underlying concepts behind the challenge rating system and how to build a better encounter. Because a lot of people do try to use the challenge rating system in 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons when building encounters, especially newer DMs. And, that's what it's for, but there are certain underlying assumptions about that you have to take into account when you are doing a a new game as a new DM, because the challenge rating system does make certain pre-gone conclusions when it was being built, because it had to start with some baseline somewhere. There's no such thing as a perfectly slidable, modifiable system that absolutely adapts. So you have to adapt. DMing a game is as much an art as it is a science. And I think that's an important distinction that people do need to know about. And so the underlying systems of the challenge rating let you know where they were coming from when they wrote the challenge rating system and what they were intended, which is why when people just randomly try to use the challenge rating system to build encounters, it often breaks down. One, the random number generators can change the odds of any encounter going sideways. But 2, if you're not meeting up with all the underlying presuppositions of the party that enters into these challenges, the challenge is not going to be as balanced as you think. It's going to be too easy or too hard, comparatively speaking, because you're not matching up. And the basic premises are, first of all, 3 to 5 adventurers in a group. There is rules for adapting for bigger or smaller groups in the player handbook and in the Monsters, the DMG and Xanathar's Guide, the 2 main guides that would have those. They are there. They do tell you how to do groups that are bigger or smaller. but the presupposition is 3 to 5 characters. That's the general default. Anything less than 3, you're not even supposed to play. In most organized play, it's a minimum of 3 characters. And anything 5 or more, you're starting to look at having double coverage, triple coverage on certain roles. And so more people can do their own thing and still possibly tackle a challenge. You're also getting that many more hits in because of the action economy. Because right now, you get 1 hit per each character in the action economy. Later on, some of the characters will get multiple hits per action, such as the fighters, and that's going to change the action economy again. Um, and of course, there's the use of bonus actions. Certain classes have them, and they allow something to do in between those combats. So, the first supposition is that it is built for character parties of 3 to 5 members. Now, as far as when you make your characters in D&D, you've got several options. You've got the dice roll method, you've got the standard array, you've got point buy, you've got like a Swiss dice pool where everybody rolls a certain number of dice, you pull them all together, and then each person takes turns drafting dice from the pool of results in order to build their characters. It's a great idea I've seen there to make it a little bit different and more dynamic. However, for the most part, they take into account the fact that characters are built using the most flatlined version of character generation, and that is not rolling the stats, but assigning them based on either the standard array, which is a derivative between the two other methods I'm talking about, or the older method of just rolling the dice and I'm sorry, not rolling. Point buy is the other method you could possibly use. It's standard array or point buy, and standard array is really one of the permutations of point buy. I'm sorry, I'm a little tired this week, so I've been trying to put a lot on my plate. I did a couple extra shows earlier today. I did one on one was a RPG college special show, talking about what you needed to get started as a D&D gamer, what kind of equipment you should start with as either a player or a DM, and we spent a couple hours on that. And then just shortly after that, I went ahead and came on and tried running a karaoke show through Twitch, just as something new and different. I do enjoy karaoke, and I don't get a chance to go out and do it right now. I'm still not going to bars until they've fully licensed everything up again. And it's not really a matter of license, it's a matter of feeling safe. So even if they clear everybody to open at full capacity, that doesn't mean I'm going to feel safe. In fact, I still might be convinced I'm not safe if they go back to full capacity too soon. In the early 1900s, something like 1918, we had the Spanish flu, and the original outbreak killed less than 5 million people. And then they opened things back up and they started doing things again. They started to push back, started to utilize mounts and stuff. But not too far into it, the next big outbreak was for much more than that. We're looking at 50 million people infected. And so you got to be careful. It's that second outbreak that really gets you. It's not the first one. And we don't even know if we're building proper antibodies for this yet. We haven't got a real sense of it. So anyway, I get off on tangents. That's why it's called Videos in the Raw. I don't edit them, and so you're getting what you're getting with me, the king of tangents. I am also the man without shame. So if you need me to do something silly, you want me to sing a silly tune or something, and it's not my karaoke show, if as long as you don't interrupt the actual flow of the show we're doing, I'm all for it. I love acting silly, doing simple silly skits and stuff. Like you may have seen when we were logging in, uh, there was an image of like the character of Howard Wolowitz, and somebody following him trying to learn magic tricks while he was coming into some kind of meeting room, and it's only a vague memory. And this might have even been all in my head because I'm kind of tired. You never know what's all in this head. I'm a little crazy. um, I talk real fast when the craziness comes out too. I get to talking really fast like a gnome, and the gnomes talk really, 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 really fast. Something of that sort. So you need to take a breath, step back, relax. Let's go to the chat room, see if we've got any questions. Does not look like we've got any so far. We are working to change that. If you have a question or concern, please post it in the channel. Otherwise, I'm just going to go off on different tangents. Some will be D&D and role-playing game related. Some probably will not. I'll run out of different things to say or forget some of the other marks I want to hand until some of these other important issues have been contributed to and handled in satisfactory way. Try not to get ahead of myself too much. My soda's a little frozen. Our fridge, for some reason, was freezing everything. We had to drop the internal temperature down a little bit. Sometimes the door doesn't get closed all the way too, which just causes it to freeze up. It's very important. You know, you would think that leaving the fridge door open would cause everything to thaw in and out of the fridge, but if you leave it just a little open and periodically do close it, you're causing the perfect situation for things to flash freeze, especially in the front of the refrigerator. They flash freeze, they get real quick, they get very hard water frozen, like for instance, the tap water that we might use to fill the oxygen tank for a relative, or take a sponge bath or something, might be a block of ice by the time we get to it. So anyway, I'm going off on tangents again. I'm just really tired today. We're 16 and a half minutes into the show, and I haven't got any questions or concerns yet. So if you're viewing here, and it does show I still have 2 viewers, come on, say hi at least, and let me know what you're thinking. Let me go ahead and bring another instance of me playing up here separate, just because sometimes it may not update as quickly what I'm doing right now as it does then. You know, does on one of these other separate ones. Got the sound turned off on this separate window just because the echo would get to be annoying if you had to listen to both of us at once. So we just had the sound turned off on this one, but I can actually see kind of what you guys are seeing, which is always helpful when you're trying to run these kind of streams. So anybody have any questions or concerns about tabletop role-playing games, curiosities, things about running the game or being a player in a game or the different campaign worlds? Come on, shoot them by me. If I don't know the answer, I'll fake it. No, not killing. If I don't know the answer, I will send you some resources of places where you can possibly look to find the answer that you're looking for. Even if I do know the answer, I might quote my sources, give you a chance to look it up yourself. Kind of depends on how much of a source I'm dealing with and how secret I consider this source. Generally I don't consider most of these recipes and stuff that I deal with secret. I'm about food, and food's about sharing. So, okay, we're back down to 1 viewer, still no questions here. Let's see. Who can we do a shout out for? Well, over on YouTube, broadcasting about 8:30 tonight, will be Left Wing Studios playing. Looks like one of the horror survival games. They'll have the seats set out to stream live from there, and also to entertain you folks, teaching you how to play the game. You got Lurch and Angel as your host over there, Left Wing Studios. Excellent 2 guys. They love to show video and board game and card game stuff, but they had a lot of the newer or older stuff that they're just playing casually among their small group. They will also have a show periodically on there from either myself or Greg Pullman or others who are more experts in the board and card game industry, coming in and reviewing new material or new to you expansions and such for your favorite games. And that's mostly Trident, who does a lot of that explanation. Well, our buddy Angel kind of slips around on the ice, as it were, avoiding trying to get slaughtered by Angel playing. Oh shoot, lost my train of thought there. Playing, can't think of the name now. But anyway, come on in, ask your questions. Let us know what's going on. I'm having real trouble focusing today. I'm not sure why. I think it's because I got up earlier than normally expected. I've been doing stuff all day. I may also cut out early today because it is technically my girlfriend's son's birthday. And I know she has to run out to Scouts to get him his uniform and everything. He's been over at his dad's trying to celebrate with his other extended family members. And then he'll be coming here, I hope, to cut his cake and open his presents. His mom made an excellent looking German chocolate cake for his birthday. One of the only chocolate cakes that are on my list of favorites. I'm not a big fan of chocolate normally, but give me German chocolate, well, especially that frosting, which has nothing to do with chocolate whatsoever, and I'll go to town, people. Tell me about it. Let's see, I'm going to put on my let's put on a music video from YouTube just to kind of break things up while we're waiting. That's one way that we can do things here. It's kind of like a commercial while I go run to the restroom real quick. We'll put the D&D Beyond song on with the official theme. We'll put this on for everybody to enjoy and let that go.
Got the perfect warlock, her weapons and supplies, but you need a place to track your stuff, cause you're so disorganized. You click open the webpage, you heard about a critical role, and now you're ready to kick some butt in that mine shaft full of no's. It's D&D, D&D Beyond, yeah, D&D, D&D Beyond. You got your stats, you got your swords, and you got your invisible wall. It's D&D, D&D Beyond. Got the perfect warlock, her weapons and supplies, but you need a place to track your stuff, cause you're so disorganized. You click open the webpage, you heard about a critical role, and now you're ready to kick some butt in that mine shaft full of no's. It's D&D, D&D Beyond, yeah, D&D, D&D Beyond. You got your stats, you got your swords, and you got your invisible wall. It's D&D, D&D Beyond. Got the perfect warlock, her weapons and supplies, but you need a place to track your stuff, cause you're so disorganized. You click open the webpage, you heard about a critical role, and now you're ready to kick some butt in that mine shaft full of no's. It's D&D, D&D Beyond, yeah, D&D, D&D Beyond. You got your stats, you got your swords, and you got your invisible wall. It's D&D, D&D Beyond. Got the perfect warlock, her weapons and supplies, but you need a place to track your stuff, cause you're so disorganized. You click open the webpage, you heard about a critical role, and now you're ready to kick some butt in that mine shaft full of no's. It's D&D, D&D Beyond, yeah, D&D, D&D Beyond. You got your stats, you got your swords, and you got your invisible wall. It's D&D, disorganized. You click open the web page, you heard about a critical role, and now you're ready to kick some butt in a mine shot full of no's. It's TNT, TNT, TNT Beyond, yeah, TNT, TNT, TNT Beyond. You got your stats, you got your swords, and you got your invisible war. It's TNT, 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 TNT Beyond. Got the perfect warlock, her weapons and supplies, but you need a place to track your stuff, cause you're so disorganized. You click open the web page, you heard about a critical role, and now you're ready to kick some butt in a mine shot full of no's. It's TNT, TNT, TNT Beyond, yeah, TNT, TNT, TNT Beyond. You got your stats, you got your swords, and you got your invisible war. It's TNT, 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 TNT Beyond. Got the perfect warlock, her weapons and supplies, but you need a place to track your stuff, cause you're so disorganized. You click open the web page, you heard about a critical role, and now you're ready to kick some butt in a mine shot full of no's. It's TNT, TNT, TNT Beyond, yeah, TNT, TNT, TNT Beyond. You got your stats, you got your swords, and you got your invisible war. It's TNT, 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 TNT Beyond. Got the perfect warlock, her weapons and supplies, but you need a place to track your stuff, cause you're so disorganized. You click open the web page, you heard about a critical role, and now you're ready to kick some butt in a mine shot full of no's. It's TNT, TNT, TNT Beyond, yeah, TNT, TNT, TNT Beyond. You got your stats, you got your swords, and you got your invisible war. It's TNT, 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 TNT Beyond. Got the perfect warlock, her weapons and supplies, but you need a place to track your stuff, cause you're so disorganized. You click open the web page, you heard about a critical role, and now you're ready to kick some butt in a mine shot full of no's. It's TNT, TNT, TNT Beyond, yeah, TNT, TNT, TNT Beyond. You got your stats, you got your swords, and you got your invisible war. It's TNT, 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 TNT Beyond. Got the perfect warlock, her weapons and supplies, but you need a place to track your stuff, cause you're so disorganized. You click open the web page, you heard about a critical role, and now you're ready to kick some butt in a mine shot full of no's. It's TNT, TNT, TNT Beyond, yeah, TNT, TNT, TNT Beyond. You got your
Kind of froze up.
stats, you got your swords, and you got your
Kind of froze up on you, looks like, guys. I'm sorry about that. I had to go to the bathroom, though. Anyway, I'm back. Let's see here. Let's get off of this. Go back to actual D&D Beyond page. Let's go back to my monitoring page, see if anybody's come in. Doesn't look like it. I just read something, though, on Facebook that I kind of want to share here. It's not directly just gaming involved, but I think it's important. It's from A.G. Terry, but I think she copied it from somebody else, and that's okay. It says, and this is about nerds in general, and it involves life right now. It says, the X-Men is about civil rights. If you don't get that, you didn't get X-Men. Black Panther is about civil rights. If you didn't get that, you didn't get Black Panther. Captain America literally fought the Nazis. He is the embodiment of fighting the alternative right. If you didn't get that, you didn't get Captain America. The Empire in Star Wars is fascist. The Rebel Alliance is anti-fascist. If you didn't get that, you didn't get Star Wars. The Punisher isn't meant to be a role model for police or armed forces. So much so that the writers of the Punisher made him actively speak out against it in a comic. If you didn't get that, you didn't get the Punisher. Deadpool is queer. He's pansexual. Fact. If you didn't get that, you didn't get Deadpool. Star Trek is about equality for all genders, races, and sexualities. As early as the mid-60s, it was taking a pro-choice stance and defending women's rights to choose. One of its clearest themes is accepting different cultures and appearances and working together for peace. It's also an anti-capitalist and pro-vegan. If you didn't get that, you didn't get Star Trek. Superman and Supergirl and a whole host of other superheroes are immigrants. The stance of those comics is pro-immigration and pro-equality and acceptance. If you didn't get that, you didn't get Superman or Supergirl. Stan Lee said racism and bigotry are among the deadliest social ills plaguing the world today. If you're bigoted or racist, you didn't get any of the characters Stan Lee created. The stories we grew up with all taught us to value other people and cultures and to treasure the differences between us. Only villains were xenophobic, or sexist, or racist, or totalitarian. I can't understand how anyone can have missed that. If you're upset that there's a black Spider-Man, or a black Captain America, or a female Thor, or that Miss Marvel is Muslim, or that Captain Marvel was pro-feminism, or any of the other things right-wing fans say is stealing their childhood, you never got it in the first place. The things you claim are now pandering to the lefties were never on your side to begin with. If you consider yourself a fan of those things, but you still think the LGBTQ plus community is too in your face, or have a problem with Black Lives Matter, or want to take the country back from immigrants, then you're not really a fan at all. Hold on a moment. Hello? 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 Sorry, phone call broke in. I wasn't quite done with that post anyway. You consider yourself a fan of these things, but you still think the LGBTQ plus community too in your face, or have a problem with Black Lives Matter, or want to take the country back from immigrants, then you're not really a fan at all. Geek culture isn't suddenly left-wing. It always was. You just grew up to be intolerant. You became the villain in the stories you used to love. And this was asked to be copied and pasted elsewhere. Please share freely with my friends. Well, I'm sharing it freely with you guys online because it is important to realize we are the nerds. The nerds are the ones that have always been kind of the outcasts, and we've always been the left-wingers. We've been the ones that accept everybody for who and what they are, and we try not to be exclusionary. And when people didn't have a place they fit in with us. Well, we need to teach that lesson to people outside of our niche groups now. More and more the world needs people to come forth as ambassadors for this kind of acceptance, this kind of change that needs to happen in the world. This isn't necessarily RPG College related, but I don't have a bunch of people listening right now, don't have a set topic. And I did a rant on this before. It was called hate. But this is the other side of that rant. This is called love, people. There are lots of ways you can accept people in culture. Why don't we go for acceptance instead of denial? When you look around a D&D table, what do I see? I do not see a black person, a Native American person, an Asian person. I see Oathgar the fighter, and I see Valerian the mage, and I see Druida the druid. I see all these different characters. I see Bronson, my Echo Knight characters around my table, because each of those are the individuals. Their characters is what matters at the table, and we accept them. And yes, their characters themselves might be playing something that's not as accepted in the society of the game. For instance, the more savage or bestial races are analogous to racism. But the point in the game is it's meant to show that in a world like D&D, a fantasy world where these they can be these absolutes, but we are humans, and humans uh, are not absolutes. We're on a sliding scale for everything. And humans, doesn't matter if you're black, white, red, or green. You're still just a human, or not just. You're still thankfully a human, and you can go forth and represent. Um, and that's something that's so important. I like coming back to this, and I'll probably come back to this a lot after recent events and everything. This is just how life is supposed to pan out. Um, where it's such an outdated, outmoded thing to try to discriminate, to try to say that other people are lesser because they have a little bit more melanin in their skin, or that they eat more curries, or uh, they decide that vegetarian is their way to go. I personally couldn't eat vegetarian. That's me. I'm not forcing my beliefs on other people. I've got a medical condition that prevents me to eat strictly vegetarian. I've got kidney failure. I have to get my protein from meat because I can't handle too much phosphorus, and the medication that binds the phosphorus in meat to make me mostly pass it through instead of digesting it doesn't work so well with the phosphorus in non-meat products. Especially, it doesn't work real well with beans and nuts and some of the other alternative proteins that are out there. And I don't take supplements. That's not my thing. Um, I have to eat, the food from. I want to get my nutrients from food, and that's just me. And so I need to eat meat. But that doesn't mean that somebody else out there who chooses to be vegan can't be vegan. Somebody out there who decides that their way of life is their comfort level, their who and what they are. It's not exactly a decision, but maybe a realization of who and what they are, because it's not a choice, but a realization. Often, when you realize who and what you are, you need to be who and what you are, and you need to accept people for that. Um, I hear people, complain about gay marriage, and I'm sorry, but if people want to make themselves miserable getting married, they should be able to do it whether they're gay or straight. Marriage itself, it can be a beautiful thing, but it can also be a miserable thing. So um, if you decide that you want to enter marriage, you think about it and you make the right decision for yourself, but don't let other people tell you what you should or shouldn't do. These are just my own views on things. I think that we need a more universally accepting view out there. We need to not be pushing these kind of views on people is better. Pushing acceptance is better than trying to push constantly some kind of left-wing religious agenda on people. We like to teach people to be tolerant, not teach people to be intolerant. Pushing intolerance on somebody is bad. It's trying to close the doors and make it even harder for people to get along. Pushing tolerance on people is accepting, and it's broadening the horizons, and that's what we want to do. I'm still waiting for people to come in with actual topics on the RPG College. Until then, I can ramble on all kinds of things. I can go back to doing karaoke if you want. I did some karaoke earlier, and I'm probably scared a few people away. A few packs of wild dogs are going meow, howling along with some of my waves, because I don't know how well this microphone, for one thing, translates into musical broadcasting. I don't know how it comes out. And two, without the open band and everything with there and somebody there changing the keys and everything and modulating, making me do my best, I'm not always going to show up as my best. I mean, I don't have a full multi-band equalizer on here. Let me do those kind of things. I probably could get one, download it, put in a few other toys and accessories, and eventually, hopefully, maybe I'll do that. I'll get a nice filtered mic system and everything, and I'll get a jump box so that I can plug my PlayStations through here, and so that I can get this same interface when I'm doing my PlayStation streams, instead of just streaming directly from the PlayStation, where you don't get quite the same overlay. Um, right now you get the ability to jump between my my full cam screen where you can see me in big and you see what we're talking about in the smaller section up there, and then you got my host screen where I go down and talk about what we're doing, and it put it up front and center, and I'm up here in the corner. Or we can just switch to just plain webcam period, where you just got my full on webcam with everything that goes with it. Or you can just have my title screen up showing my title graphics. So I've got quite a bit of customization done on this, and that I can't quite do with my PlayStation broadcast right now, but that's okay. Anyway, let's see here. Let's get some people in here and try to ask some questions about D&D. I'm going to go check over at Facebook real quick, see if anybody's been responding to my open invitation here. Doesn't look like it. Not so far. Yep. Nope. Does look like, though, that Left Wing Studios has got an event, The Last of Us, that's going to be starting at 8:30 today, going to 11 o'clock, hosted by Lurch and Left Claw Studios, which is Lurch and Angel there. They're going to be playing a little bit more of The Last of Us, be fighting hunters and surviving. Clickers Abound is what it said. It's streaming of a game. It's the remastered version by Naughty Dog, and that'll be fun. I do streaming of some video games myself, usually on Mondays and Wednesdays. Is my big streaming days for retro gaming. When I mostly stream for the PlayStation 4, things like Final Fantasy X or Dark Cloud, or even Elder Scrolls Online. But then I also stream off this computer here, Albion Online, the Fractured MMO playtest, because I'm in the playtest for that. And so I even did some Guild Wars 2 yesterday. So we're getting different varieties of stuff coming in. I'm still looking to see what fits right at my channel. So if you got any suggestions, I mean, please lay them on me. I'm well open for suggestions. I can't wait to get some more Fractured the MMO going and find out when the next thing is going to happen in Fractured Land. Sorry, my back and neck are killing me. I might have to cut this early, especially if we don't get people in here. That's about the only time I try to cut out early, is when I don't get people in here talking. I start to lose my place and everything, and it's becomes hard for me to focus. But I mean, it depends. Sometimes if I'm playing, like for instance, if I was playing the alpha test for Fractured, a lot of times I can just let the comments in the chat fade to the background. Excuse me, and focus in on just streaming when I'm wanting to stream, and that helps me out a little bit. But going back on old games I haven't played in a while may or may not, depends on how I'm feeling, be able to subsume my own exhaustion in order to go ahead and keep playing those games, or if it's time to just cut out early. Now it's 6:46. We've not gotten any real people showing. What I'd like to do maybe is rebroadcast some of Left Wing Studios YouTube broadcasts through my Twitch channel, if I can remember to set them up as kind of a rebroadcast thing, so more people can be reached by them, because I don't think they're on Twitch quite yet. So that might be something I try to set up around 8:30, but I might be taking a break here for about 45 minutes or so, rest my eyes, go back, finish the last of my episode of Doctor Who, get ready in case the kid comes home and we need to do his birthday presents, things of that nature. But since there's just really not anybody watching right now, I may not even move this one over to YouTube because we haven't really discussed much. This one might just make it into the trash file for just not being used. But if you are listening to this, tell your friends, have them come in, start watching my channel. We're really looking to build content that you want to see. I'm going to go and hop off of here now. I'm going to set this to raid another channel, which, how about Critical Role's channel? That's a good raid channel. I'm going to have a raid Critical Role, so when I log off, people in the channel will automatically be redirected to Critical Role's channel. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.